Fox News contributor Nina Easton rejoins me now. All right, Nina, so we were going to pick up where we left off. Now the SEIU, who we see here protesting your neighbor, Greg Baer, now they have called your boss to complain about you reporting about this incident, saying you are guilty of bias, distortion, lies, and saying that your husband has financial ties to Bank of America, and that's why you wrote your article complaining about this behavior. Go.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it. They raised complaints. They did call. And in their blog, they said that they tried to sully my professional reputation by saying that my husband has ties to Bank of America, which is patently false. And he doesn't have ties to Bank of America or any other bank. He's a political consultant. But they tried to use that to say, rather than going after any facts in the story, which, by the way, is on fortune.com for any interested viewers. But rather than criticizing me for any facts in the story, which I was very careful in crafting that story because I was part of it. Rather than going after that, they've come after me to, as I said, to try to, I think, raise suspicions about my motivation.
Not just the SEIU, but Media Matters, which says Easton should have disclosed in her column and on Fox News that her husband has ties to Bank of America, which you now say is patently false, all of the allegations therein, because they try several ways to suggest it's so. Let me ask you this before I go. The SEIU guy on his blog, John Vandeventer, says Miss Easton paints a terrifying picture of a mob. The problem is her story doesn't quite mesh up with the facts. The really interesting question here is, why is Miss Easton so angry?
Because it took place on my yard, and people were tromping through my yard. It was my piece. It was the Baers are very dear friends. I watched them be terrorized. His wife is scared to death now. Greg is scared. I had talked to Jack, who was trapped in the bathroom. On a very personal level, you have to really feel that, be there to feel that sense of being invaded and feel that sense of you don't have control. So, as I said in the story, I love protests. As a journalist, every journalist loves protests. Protests change the political climate. They can change history. They're important. But when it's on your front lawn, when it's in your property, when people are breaking the law like that, it's a mob. It's more like a mob than a protest, and that's what it felt like.
Yeah, well, the pictures really tell the story.
And by the way, Megan, speaking of sexism, when I asked the SEIU officials about this, about their tactics, he accused me of getting, quote, emotional. To which I said, would you have asked that? It was said that of a man. And then they also called my column a rant. I love their choice of words in all of this.
Right, like you just need to man up and take it.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, thank you for breaking this, Nina. We've been following it, and we'll continue to follow it until we get some better answers.
Thank you, Megan.